Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So today we're going to be talking about the top 5 gun myths / lies that are still told to this day. Let's get to it. This video is sponsored by JX Tactical, who makes some of the best, safest, most comfortable holsters you're going to find on the market today. If you're like me and you have one of those bins or drawers that's filled with holsters that just weren't comfortable, check out JX holsters. These things are absolutely incredible. They have one of the biggest selections that I've ever seen in terms of clips for both inside the waistband, outside the waistband, curved, straight, ulti-clip, leather bands and buckles. I mean, all sorts of clips you can choose from to really customize it and make it yours. It has a nice positive retention with an amazing click. These things aren't going anywhere. So again, check out JX Tactical down below. Okay, so let's go and start off with the first myth that I think is going to make the most people upset. We'll just get that out of the way right off the bat. And that is that the 1911 is still a great choice for self-defense. No, it's not. The 1911 is easily one of the most historic, nostalgic pieces of Americana that you can get your hands on, and I still believe that everybody should at least own one, but I don't think it's a great choice for self-defense, especially not in today's day and age, not by today's standards. If I had a great 1911 sitting on the table in front of me and an FN 45 Tactical, and all of a sudden the shit hit the fan, I'm grabbing the FN 45 Tactical. The 1911 has some drawbacks. It's low capacity. It's heavy. It probably has the best trigger on the planet, but they're unfortunately notoriously unreliable. Now, it really depends on what you get, but you never know exactly what you're going to get. I had a Wilson Combat that cost as much as a truck. I mean, this thing was really expensive, and I had malfunctions all the time. But I had a $500–600 Rock Island Armory that ran great. The problem with 1911s is they were designed for ball ammunition. When you put a hollow point in there, especially, today there's different shapes to the nose of different hollow points, you can end up having problems. So is it a choice for self-defense? Sure. Is it a great choice for self-defense? Absolutely not. There's so many better choices that are on the market today that the 1911 should be left, in my opinion, in its nostalgic, historic form. Okay, so the next myth is one that's really pushed by the media and the government to try and make things sound scarier than they actually are, but you do not have a sniper rifle in your safe. Your long-range precision rifle that has a magnified optic on it that's in your safe right now is not a sniper rifle. A sniper rifle is a long-range precision rifle with a magnified optic that's manned by a sniper. That is a sniper's rifle, a sniper rifle. If you had the exact same rifle that a sniper in the military had out in the civilian world, but you're not a sniper, then guess what? You have a long-range precision rifle. There is a difference between the two, and it's who's sitting behind it. That's basically the end of that. So when you hear the media or somebody say, we shouldn't allow people to have sniper rifles, well, we don't. We have long-range precision rifles in different cartridges. Some of them are heavier cartridges, some of them are lighter cartridges, but it's a precision rifle. A sniper rifle is manned by a sniper in the military for those purposes. Now, the third myth is one that I haven't heard in a while. I think it's starting to finally fade away, but it's definitely something that I heard in the past, so I'm going to bring it up, and that is that your optic should cost twice as much as whatever it is you're putting it on. Now, back in the day, that might have actually been true, okay? Given the fact that prices have changed, technology has changed, the availability of things has changed, and so forth. Back when that was really a big saying, that might have been true. But today, it's not the case. I mean, as a matter of fact, some prices of optics can't even keep up with the price of some of these rifles. I have some uppers. Just the upper alone is $1,600. So you're telling me once everything's put together, it's $2,500. I got to find an optic that costs $5,000 in order for it to be worthy of being on top? No, that's just not the case anymore. As a matter of fact, technology in optics has come so far that what we would consider budget optics these days would be considered high-tech, super expensive optics 50 years ago. I mean, it's something that would just be absolutely unheard of. So the whole myth, the whole lie that you have to spend a ton of money on your optic if you have an expensive rifle, it just goes right out the window these days. That's not the case. I mean, for instance, you could have a rifle that costs $2,000, right? And would you be upset if you put an $800, $900 aim point on it? Well, that's less than half the cost of the rifle. No, you wouldn't be upset. That's a high quality optic that you're putting on there. It just happens to cost half of what your rifle costs. So try and keep that in mind. If anybody ever tells you that, it might have applied 50, 60 years ago, but it doesn't apply now. Now, the fourth myth is going to be that MilSpec is the best spec. This is still one that I see out of a lot of new shooters. People who think it must be the best because it's used by the military. One thing you have to remember about the military is that they use bidding in order to contract with people who make the stuff that they end up using, which means that you might have 3, 4, 5 companies that all put something together based off of military specifications, and then they present it. Once it's presented, it goes through all these different trials and so forth, and then it comes down to price. Does it fit in our budget? Do they have the capacity to make what we need as fast as we need it? You know, how easy is it to service and stuff? There's a lot that goes into it, and it's not always the best thing that actually makes the cut. Sometimes the best thing is just kind of left out there, and guess who it goes to? It goes to the civilian market usually after that. It's not select fire in most cases. There are some people that have select fire out there, but in most cases it's going to be a semi-automatic version of some sort. And you'll see a lot of times that the civilian version of whatever the military is using is going to be better in some way. And that's because innovation is allowed to happen on the civilian market without having to go through so many different military trials and approvals. So if you've ever changed out a MilSpec trigger to a better civilian-made trigger, you'll know that those triggers tend to be a lot better than a MilSpec trigger. Also, think about barrels and accuracy, right? I would easily take a Hansen Profile Ballistic Advantage barrel that is 416R stainless steel and over a government profile barrel that has, you know, something for a bayonet lug and a grenade launcher on it that is, you know, prone to more barrel whip and less accuracy. So I would take the civilian version over the military's version in my triggers and my barrels and a lot of other things. Most of the time, MilSpec really kind of means dimension, but still, the military, just because it's used in the military, what I'm trying to say is, doesn't make it the best. Now, the next myth or lie that I hear all the time is that stopping power is the most important thing in the entire world. You'll get a woman that walks into the shop, she's 110 pounds looking for her very first thing, and the guy behind the counter tries to push her a 45 because of stopping power. Stopping power is not the most important thing at all. As a matter of fact, I'd probably put it kind of down on the list. The most important thing is knowing how to aim and hitting vital organs, because I don't care if you have a 45 or if you have a 22. If you do not hit a vital organ, it's not going to have stopping power. Stopping power is perforating something that's really important to somebody so that they cannot advance or continue on in the fight, and that pretty much stops them. So obviously, you know, the more important of the item that you actually hit, the more stop that that thing is going to have. So yeah, 45, big, slow, heavy ball like a cannon, that's going to hit somebody. It's going to have a lot of punch. It's going to transfer a lot of kinetic energy into its intended target, right? But a 9mm, which has less recoil, is easier to control and easier for those follow-up shots, has a higher likelihood, especially, you know, people who are somewhat inexperienced, of hitting one of those vital organs, which is, again, going to stop somebody. So while, you know, stopping power is an important factor to consider, you don't want to get anything that's underpowered. I don't suggest carrying a 22, but is it the most important thing in the entire world? Absolutely not. Learning how to put shots on target, learning how to put holes you want to put holes in, that's the most important thing that you can get. Because if you didn't hit your target with a 45 and you didn't hit it with a 9, the same thing's going to happen. Okay? Period. If you hit your target with a 45 or a 9, the same thing's going to happen. It's all about hitting where you're supposed to hit. So anyway, that's kind of my top 5 myths that I have heard and things that just kind of ring in my head every now and then that I thought I would make a video about. So again, if you guys either agree or disagree, just go ahead and leave a comment, leave a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that as well. You guys have a great day.